It's about that time of the month, guys. It's time we talk about one of the most legitimate and important sources of information when it comes to a game's revenue. This source makes no mistakes, and I guarantee you guys that what we're going to talk about is absolutely important, and it absolutely defines how Duet Night Abyss is doing. What's good, y'all? It's your boy CJ, and today we got to talk about the gacha revenue. It's time we see how Duet Night Abyss is doing in the gacha market and if it will end of service or if it will survive. Now, I'm going to tell you a lot of things in this video. First, we're going to go over what people are saying, and then I'm going to go over some of the things I personally think about that must be discussed to give this a little bit more context. So the first thing we can see is, well, the ones that are on top, they're still at the top, right? We have Love and Deep Space, Genshin Impact, Pokemon Pocket, blah, 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 and the list goes on. And then if we go down little by little, you guys will see that you will not find Duet Night Abyss in here, or matter of fact, Where Winds Meet. They're not on this list, so either they're just not getting added, or they did worse than the 50th spot in December's gacha revenue. I'll leave that up to you, but we do have some numbers, ladies and gentlemen, and with those numbers, a little bit of doom posting and a little bit of trash talking, like always, has begun for Duet Night Abyss. And I want to tell you, if you've even made it this far, I'm not going to be glazing. I'm not going to be out here like defending things. We're going to talk about this from a very objective point of view, and I'm going to give, my 2 cents regarding this situation. Moving on from there, though, we have the, I guess, official mobile revenue for Duet Night Abyss. And let me tell you, people are going off at it because, as you could see, it only made $750,000. And people are saying it's the end. The game is going to die. They didn't even make $1 million. It's over, right? And I just want to point out one thing. Most games usually go down by 60 some percent from their launch month to month 2. It's even stated here, it's something very common, but DNA did go down by what these numbers say, by 71%, so it's a little bit more than the average. Still nothing too crazy. Now, the number to some gacha players that are used to seeing their favorite, waifu collector making 20-30 million dollars is very low, but I want to point this out. First and foremost, these are mobile revenue numbers, okay? And not only is this game not as optimized on mobile, but the majority of the player base is on PC, and we haven't even gotten the Steam release. That's not to say these numbers aren't low, and we're going to look into how this game can go about making more money, because in all reality, ladies and gentlemen, the game does have its issues, and it does have things that it needs to improve in order to make more money. I'm gonna just keep it real with you. Nonetheless, stop panicking, ladies and gentlemen. Don't believe the doom post. This is straight some dookie ass, okay? Yes, we did not make as much money as we would like to make, but considering the fact that the 1.0 launch for mobile was absolute dog water, and considering that 1.1 also has had some issues, I understand why we're not making that much money on mobile. The devs themselves have gone out and done an interview. This was about 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry if I just blinded y'all with the white background, but the devs have gone out and done an interview. In the interview, they've stated, how is your sales in the Japan market? One of the reasons why the distribution performance in Japan is sluggish on some external platforms is that the current main users are PC players. The current main users of Duet Night Abyss are PC players, ladies and gentlemen. That's absolutely a fact. Most people that I know, I stream to usually 150 to 200 people, and my peers that also stream this game, between all of us, we could average, 5, 6, 700 viewers on a good day between all of us, of course. And most players that play this game that we get to chat to in our streams, in our videos, in our discords, most of them play on PC. Most of the complaints come from the very small percentage of mobile players. Now, they do need to improve that, of course. We do want to get that mobile market, but they've even addressed this themselves. And the data on the PC side is not sufficiently measured. However, PC players in Japan are relatively willing to pay, and their earnings are stable, okay? We have amped potential for long-term and precise operations, and the overall level of earnings in Japan is good. We see the Japan market very promising, and we hope that more Japan players will join Duet Night Abyss in the future. Now, they're still not making $20-30 million. I just want to clarify that. They're still not making that, but at least it's good for now. It's overall stable, which they pretty much said. things are okay, the market is promising, and the earnings are good. And that's just in the Japan market. And there's a lot of players. It would seem that there's more players in the global side of things that there are in like the JP or even CN market. So if we go back to this, yes, I understand why some people want to get scared at this, but we got to see where the game goes. Is it going to go to like 500K next month? Is it going to go down to 200K the month after that? And then we'll see from there. Now, another thing, and what I really want to talk about, is the actual monetization of the game and why things could be a little bit problematic, or why things aren't looking as bright as they could be. And the first thing that I really want to tell you guys is Duet Not Abyss has a lot of potential. We could be seeing another like Warframe story, another No Man's Sky story, if they put enough time to actually work on what they have to do. So the first thing I want to talk about is their monetization, right? Their monetization right now, I'm gonna be real with you, is kind of bad, right? When we compare this game to a game like Where Winds Meet that has a crap load of cosmetic, a crap load of things that you can buy for all various prices, right? Multiple different outfits and cosmetics, right? You guys can understand where the problem is if you're a Duet Not Abyss player. Now, the reason I'm comparing Where Winds Meet to Duet Not Abyss is because they're both games that offer a lot of gameplay and both base their monetizations off the cosmetics, right? I'm not going to be comparing this to like Wuthering Waves or Genshin Impact's monetization, because they're very different in the sense that one sells characters and weapons and the other one sells cosmetics. But it's important to compare it to Where Winds Meet, because Where Winds Meet is a game that offers so many varying options of cosmetics, and good cosmetics, skins, mounts, all these different things that you're able to purchase, whereas in Duet Not Abyss, as of the moment, the monetization is kind of lacking, right? We do have a banner that features a brand new banner character skin, which is really cool, but the problem with that, ladies and gentlemen, is that most people don't get the character as soon as the game comes out, right? As soon as they get into the game, they probably got to level up their account for a week, maybe 2 weeks, so they can do theater up to the level they need to get the character, and then they would go into maybe spending some money for the skin. It's not like a regular, for example, gacha game, or even Where Winds Meet, where you can start the game and pretty much buy an outfit and instantly equip it on your character. This is a little bit more complex when it comes to the new characters, which is where the gacha of the game is. Outside of the gacha, we currently only have two skins that we can buy for our characters, and they're generic skins, meaning this skin is the same skin on every single character, and this skin is the same skin on every single character. We don't really have a lot of, options when it comes to skin. We do have some weapon skins that are, improving in that category. They're making cooler weapon skins. They're giving us more options. But at the same time, currently at least, is not enough. On top of that, another thing that I want to talk about is that if we go over to the gacha and we go to the Prism Exchange, a lot of the cooler cosmetics that they add into the game, right? A lot of these cooler things are locked behind the currency that you get by summoning and getting a gold if it's not the skin. So a lot of these cosmetics that are already pretty damn cool, you're not able to get them until you actually summon on the gacha banner. And while they are cool, a lot of people might look at this and be like, do I really want to summon on the gacha for this, right? So I do feel that their monetization options, at least currently, are not as good as they can be. They absolutely need to improve their monetization models, giving us multiple different skins. Once again, if we go back to Where Winds Meet, you have skins that could be $20, $40, $50, right? Without counting even the gacha skins that could be hundreds of dollars, but they also have skins that you can buy for like $1, for like 99 cents, whole character skins. And you might not think some of these are very cool, but it's all about personal preference. And some of these skins are actually pretty cool, and they have multiple skins that you could buy for about 99 cents. And then the same thing goes for other things like mounts. They have some mounts that are going to be more expensive, $10, $20, $30. And then they're going to have some mounts that are going to be, 99 cents, right? Some things that are going to give players the opportunity to actually go out of their way and get some cool cosmetics and some pretty interesting things. And there are so many different ways that they're currently making money that is honestly very interesting. Now, I'm not saying we should go down the route of where Winsmeet exactly, because there are some things that, even though their cosmetics are pretty damn expensive, but they do some things very, very, very well, which is giving the players the ability to spend money to improve their accounts via cosmetics that is not necessarily via gacha or via this one style outfits. We need more cosmetics. Now, this is not to say that with more content and more cosmetics being added, they won't start making a little bit more money, but the outfits in particular is something they definitely got to, improve upon. That's one aspect of the game they got to improve upon. And another thing that I do want to point out is that currently there's a lot of cosmetics that we have in the game, but we can't purchase them yet. Like things like this, they will be added later, and they're very, very cool. As you guys can see, there's a lot of these really cool cosmetics that are going to be added later down the line, and we're just waiting for the devs to come through and kind of like drop them in the game. When you look at things like this, you're like, okay, I want to buy this. This looks really cool. But once again, we gotta wait and see what the devs are actually cooking, because currently the game needs more cosmetics. We need more variety. We need more options for where we spend our money. But to end this video off, I just want to say the game is not going to end a service right now. I don't know about the future. I'm hoping it doesn't. There's a lot of potential that the game has. That's just the truth of it. And at the end of the day, the revenue that we're seeing right now, it's mobile revenue. We gotta stop gauging this game where the majority of the player base, confirmed by the devs, is on PC. We don't have the metrics to see what they're making on PC. And even if it's 3 times more, just 3 times, because when we talk about this game, it's not just that like half of the player base is on mobile and half is on PC. I'm telling y'all, majority. So we could say 70, 80, 90% of the player base is on PC. They're easily making 2+ million, I would say. I would guess, right? Unless the devs come out and say something. But I just want to say that outright right now, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of misinfo. There's a lot of doom posting. Like always, this game is always fighting an uphill battle versus doom posting. And I do think that we are moving slow. That's the truth. We're moving slow, but when it comes to this game, it's moving upwards. Slowly upwards. It's getting better. It's improving the cosmetics. So as long as we keep seeing this type of improvement when it comes to the game, we'll be absolutely fine, ladies and gentlemen. And if for some reason this game does happen to go end of service, it just is what it is. For all of you that are doom posting and attacking people, I'm so happy the game might die or whatever. Look. Go out, touch some grass, eat some ass, get some happiness in your life, enjoy yourself. For us that are still having fun, we're going to continue to have fun. We're going to continue to support the game, and that's just the bottom line. Appreciate you guys for watching. Do be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.